Obliterates.
Shh, don't say that now.
Hi, everyone.
The Murph.
All right, Dan, you have,
Street department first, obviously not a whole lot. Couple dump trucks coming this year, Philip had said, on the USDA, I think he said May now. But as far as that's, next year's budget, nothing really dramatic. Traffic light repairs, obviously the streets getting ground up, so loops, detection wise, of course, gone at Church Street now. Dinwiddie, the
Church,
loop,
Irvin, Dinwiddie.
correct, Irvin, Church, Dinwiddie's bad, so, and then I think this summer Phillips gonna grind up Main Street, so basically we need to get some cameras. We've ordered some cameras already for Irvin, but I think when they get here, we're gonna put them at Church, cause it's just, the traffic's jammed up so bad.
Yeah.
So, we got a little bit of money left over in that this year, that we're gonna buy some more cameras, but then next year's budget, we're gonna have to purchase some more.
What is
Let
this?
the public know these things are gonna be on a timer for a while.
Yeah,
On a
everything.
timer, because you don't have those operating loops.
When do you feel like your ones for Irvin will be here so they can go on?
The wire come today, the wire just showed up today, and the cameras ain't here, and it's a monitor that goes with the camera, and that's not here yet either, so I don't know, I had to reach out to the guy and see, but, I mean, I give the guy a PO, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, so.
And what is each camera set costing? What is it to outfit one intersection roughly?
Like Irvin Street was probably 10 grand, 8 to 10 grand.
I think it was $8,600 or something. For the PO.
So, like, you take an intersection like, Dinwiddie Avenue, it's gonna cost more, cause
You
you
got
got
several
more,
different,
took in different
Yeah.
directions, yes. Cause you're not monitoring Main Street at Irvin, you're only monitoring the side street, so,
correct.
control wise there, so.
All right. And then obviously you got the health insurance increase, VRS.
Yeah.
What's your added position?
It wasn't really added, we moved from one person from the sanitation
Sanitation.
department to the street.
Correct.
That was Quarles.
That was our lead, and then we did hire Quarles.
Correct. Qualls is actually on the truck for guys, when they do that, but it was.
And then, electric streetlights, what's that, 4,000?
Why is that?
You can put it in here.
No, look at it.
Good, we can take it out.
Yeah.
Strike 4,000 from Dan. Done.
Yeah, I don't think it's not supposed to say it's an increase.
Yeah.
It's flat, the electric for the street lights is stay the same, I don't know.
Okay. And then,
you didn't do it?
I don't
Here's
know.
your cut right there.
and then a capital request of 10,000. Are you sure that's enough to buy, I mean, a commercial mower instead of just a,
We've had some success with just buying the regular mower.
because we're gonna tear them up
They're the
anyway.
10,000 for the mower.
Kit.
Oh, yeah,
So I think you can buy a Toro or Gravely, for that amount. I don't know with the price of everything being crazy, but we have been buying them for less than that.
You wanna do your-
Is that all, Dan? Or your capital
Scroll
for
it.
Dan doesn't know how to work a computer.
So you're just saying-
Not,
You doing the electric
He's gonna do garbage first.
garbage? Okay.
then-
On page 20.
yeah, really no change to that, actually got a decrease for whatever reason, oh, that's because of the garbage truck, right?
Correct, we had the garbage truck in the FY 22 budget, and of course, we don't have a garbage truck for 23.
No garbage truck this year.
So you got a new hire and one promotion? Or that's
No, we're on page
garage.
17.
Sorry, that's garage.
Only on what?
So page 17,
I just followed your page 20.
Yeah,
there we go, that's sanitation summary?
yeah, I see.
So this budget really just went down, because we moved the one position, and you never replaced it, really, you just.
Yeah,
slowed
this
down.
does not include anything with garbage cans that we've talked about.
Well, go down, no, it doesn't, and I don't know what you guys want me to do about the garbage can. Just scroll down one, I wanted to. I put the litter grant expenditure in here, we get a grant every year for $2,400, but we had talked about maybe doing like a household waste day, And I may need to get the docket, Yvonne used to handle this, but I'm handling it now, so I would like to possibly try to apply for more to be able to do more than just buy trash cans. And this is just for town use. Do you want me to research the,
Yeah, I mean,
The cans,
the cans are one thing.
we
We
got a
kinda
price
already did.
a couple of years ago, and it was like $95,000.
The cans are one thing, but it's actually
Put the side of the road.
getting them to the street is where it's gonna be a battle.
Mhm.
I mean, it's gonna be, not a battle, it's just gonna be hard to tell
I think we looked
the
into
grandma
it in
on
detail,
Second
but
Street that,
it was how are you gonna track the town-owned cans?
yeah.
Like if a renter takes it with them, or do they owe you with their utility deposit? I think that whole minutia,
I always
right?
feel like for $100,000, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
We increased the garbage rate, correct? Last year.
Couple
Last
years.
year.
What do you have on clearance and demolition? You had budgeted 1,500, we've spent 19,000 almost, and you're still requesting 1,500 for this year.
That was a one-time, I think that clearance and demo was last year when we
Was that
paid, yes. the
Down
one-
the Wolves?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
There'll be another line item added for disposal here. Shelby.
All right, if that's it, Dan. You got a new garbage truck this year, it just arrived recently, so there's not one in the budget for this coming year.
Just so you know, most of the demo and clearance that we've done this year is all on the East End project, so that should be reflected in East End. And ultimately, we hope to, at a minimum, get reimbursed back for landfill charges and for the asbestos.
All right, so electric fund for page 27.
Yeah, got, the 4 apprentice step increases this year. Right now, as of right now, they're not proposed at true up, but that's always subject to change as well. Fuel adjustment, obviously, fuel is not going down, and I don't know how that's gonna play out, but, don't look to go down the light bill.
So you're saying with the VEMA no true up, people can expect a decrease in their bill come July?
Under the power cost adjustment, yes, unless something comes through the last minute. They're still in FERC fighting court, fighting them with them in court over how Dominion accounted for the, I don't know, $13 million or whatever it
Yeah.
was, so. Hopefully they're supposed to hear something maybe in April, a ruling from FERC maybe, they're hoping, so.
Okay.
But, as of right now, there's no true up right now, so that's subject to change though.
So the increase in fuel adjustment, that's simply a pass-through?
Correct, as always, yes. And that's normally comes in April, I believe, so, we'll know what that will be here next couple of weeks,
Pretty soon. Okay.
so.
Electrical maintenance supplies, that's just basic wire and
Yeah, your basic wire, nuts and bolts, material that we buy.
But you increased it by 35,
Right,
is
yeah.
that the cost of everything?
Cost of material, everything gone up as well. Pretty bad.
Now, is a lot of that pass-through typically then? Or is a lot of that just general line maintenance?
Majority of it's general line maintenance. Obviously, some people, they put underground wire to the house or modular home they
That's
put up.
passed through,
That's
yeah.
passed through. Whatever the cost of wire is, we pass that through and all, so.
Okay.
Certain jobs, like I say, get passed through and all, but it's a lot of maintenance and upkeep in general that doesn't live.
And then your big request of a bucket truck?
Yes, over the past, I don't know how many years, we've been putting $50,000 a year setting aside for the bucket truck, so.
By the end of this year, we'll have the full 100 for what he
This
saved
fiscal
over
year.
the year. And so you have to put the full purchase of the truck in your budget, even though he's got that 100 to use from the use of fund.
Yeah.
And the transformer rate obviously is $100,000. I'm not saying that we will do that. We do spend that much money. That's means more businesses are coming here. Price of them has really gone sky high. We bid some back in November, for example, a 300 kVA pad mount transformer was, we got bids, was $15,000, the cheapest bid. which is normally higher than normal. Company out of Missouri got a WEG, WEG transformer, all right? We issued a PO and then for 15 grand back in November. We bid it out again to purchase another one. Same company, was the only company bid on it, it was $30,000, went double in
An
price.
80-week lead time.
88-week lead time. So we declined, I talked to Phillips about it, because we declined to bid. You know, because, I don't know. So we ended up buying a rebuilt transformer from a company out of Carolina that we deal with, so for about 10 grand of it. So. But that just, and I don't know if it's like lumber and everything else, you know, can they make more money off of folks or the Galvin folks or what, I don't know what the deal is. But, you know, the double in price in several months is pretty bad.
All right. Let's see, what else do we got? That's it.
Weatherization is in there. You doing that?
Unless we can, but.
Weatherization is in here
Mm-hmm.
at tune of 25?
We did.
50. That's not with increase of cutoff fees.
And without the increase in cutoff.
What are we getting cutoff fees at the
But
current rate
it's not
right
an
now?
increase, it's just flat from where it's been 50 all along.
And what is our total income from the cutoff fees currently?
All of our total fees,
At
I think were
$12.50.
$100,000 at one time. But that includes all kinds of different late fees and all the additional and that sort of thing. I think last time we looked at it, it would bring an additional $25,000 or something like that. I don't know.
So if you
Back
really
to the
wanted,
25.
if I personally wanted to make the argument of use what is you brought in from the pink slip fees, it'd be the 25 grand.
I think that's the number that would, what that would be.
So you would need to find an additional 25 is where you're,
But the plan is 50,000 right now, and that's still good. Which is flat fee, flat charge. And the cost of a house now, it's taking 2 years of weatherization to do one house. We can't do one a year. We used to be able to do one a year. For a substantial reconstruction, can't do it anymore, you gotta wait 2 years. That's why we've asked the county for some money, and we hope they'll give us some of their program income that's been sitting in the bank for however many years. But at this point, we're only able to do really one significant project every other year.
In FY '21, you collected $24,000 in interest and penalties. Current to date, you've collected $68,000. So you can see where y'all had stopped the disconnects. So you had,
Correct.
you only collected 23 in penalty, interest and penalties in FY '21, but in '22, you've already collected 68.
through December or
No, I've got a current,
that has
I've got a
interest
current through,
and penalties.
March.
So
correct?
it's not just
Interest and
68,000
penalties.
straight out, it's both,
It's interest and penalty
Interest
lumped
and
in together,
so
yeah.
that's not a full amount.
But you've only collected 6,900 in reconnect charges.
This year, and that's with the $12.50 or $25 goes to, in that
Does it?
particular line. We'd have to double check, but I think it's gonna bring in about
I have to ask
25,000.
Brittany, I don't know where that 1250 goes in which line, I don't know. I believe it's in the reconnect charges, that's the 1250.
Reconnect on.
Is there, Philip, can you get together a list of homes that have had weatherizations done as to the portions of Blackstone they're located?
I can tell you where they're at right now.
Where are they?
We did one on Harris Street, we've done one on Amelia Avenue, we have done a home on Stoke Street, we have done, and remember, we've only done it for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Harris Street, Amelia Avenue, Stoke Street, I'm sure there was a portion of weatherization, in fact, I know we put $50,000 2 years ago as our match for the East End project, and that money was put into one of the homes on East End that we actually really what we've done with residential. We have done 2 handicap bathrooms this past year, using program income. We put 2 handicap bathrooms in for folks that were in need of them, one on Birch Street and one on Broad Street. So, we hope to see some more program income coming. It looks like some of these properties that we've renovated in the past few years look like they're gonna be sold and or refinanced. And so we're in first position on both of them, so when they get sold, we get satisfied, and then money go to program income, and then we can.
Is there any way you can get a document that, and I'm trying to justify the reasoning is to go, for me to agree to the 50,000.
The 50 or the 100? You're 50 now. Mr. Miller's proposal was to take it to $100,000.
Well, you're gonna have to find a lot more justification then. But weatherization, when we go through weatherization, it should be true weatherization, not let's put a new roof on. It should be let's blow in insulation, let's
But here's the
replace a
problem.
window, let's.
Just so you know, in practicality, you get out here and you take a house and you start ripping off the back of it, the damn thing rotten, or the roof's leaking. You can't put insulation in if the roof's leaking, that doesn't make any sense. That's not a good investment of money. So invariably, a $10,000 weather stripping and new window project turns into, oh my God, a roof leaking and
$100,000 is a lot of money
tail end of the roof. I get it.
when we can't even afford a $168,000 roof repair at the fire
You said
station.
you couldn't afford it. You can afford what you want to afford. You've just got to assign priority. What you got.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
There's a packet up here if you wanna look at
The garage and bus too, cause there's no way I'd be able to see that far, so I can't prepare.
Which one are we starting with?
Page 20, the garage.
Not garbage?
The garbage.
Yeah, that's what we can earlier.
Alright, so our garage total for the upcoming 23 is $283,335. That's an increase of the 63,000. And those increases below, we are recommending one of our mechanics to be named head mechanic, which will come with some extra responsibilities and of course an increase in salary. Our new hire mechanic, he will be taking his CDL sometime within the fiscal year 2023, and that's where his step increase will come from. That'll be a $1 increase of wherever he is at the time.
Does he get his inspector in 23
Yeah, so
too?
his inspection, he is going in 2 weeks, I believe, the 13th
Oh,
of
so he
April
might
maybe.
get that this.
So he may, if he passes, will get that before 2023, so that's why I only put the one
Oh.
step increase in for 2023. So I guess technically it's 2, but one of them will hopefully be obtained before then, so. Our, I can't see
Your,
the
your
front.
capital upgrade.
Yeah, our capital upgrade is just the yearly scanner update that we do. I don't think we did one last year after talking with the mechanics. I don't think that they did one, so it is definitely due for one this year, so that's where that 2,800 is just for updating the scanner, so.
You can scroll, you can use the little bullet and go down. There you go, there's just your breakdown and then your capital.
Your new hire and one promotion. One promotion is obviously the head mechanic.
Right.
What's your new hire position?
Um,
That'd be an admin position?
No, that's just the step increase for the mechanic
Okay.
we hired recently. So
Gotcha.
we're not hiring
Because
anybody
it
else.
wasn't in
it's
this year's
just-
budget.
Correct, so there
Right.
was not, there was only 2 mechanics in the 22 budget.
So it's no one in addition to what we already have, it's just you're reflecting it in the budget.
Correct.
Okay.
One more, there you go.
Jason.
And then there you can go again, and then there it was.
Oh, sorry.
Now, I didn't do a full, complete breakdown of the bus, cause you guys already adopted that.
We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Gotta go pick up my car before I have to walk home tonight.
So I
This is
didn't
my
do your
budget.
full breakdown, this is all we have for the bus. Cause they already
Right.
approved that.
Right, so this is, I mean, this is just recapping, we had to do that budget revision for the fuel increase. And then everything else, I mean, the 6% increase is what we had proposed when it was adopted back in January.
Mhm.
So nothing else has changed other than that, just that, fuel increase.
Which we revised this past month.
Correct.
Right.
Mhm. And she does have that one part-time position in, that we would like to keep in, just like today, you know, she was short-staffed and
It would've
she
been
couldn't
nice
come
for
at
today.
10. So it's only 2 days a week, but I think we wanna keep that in.
Yeah, for sure.
And this does obviously reflect that increase on across the board
Yeah.
raises.
Correct.
Which
Yeah,
would
these
be
are all the
adjusted out.
totals, right, but we will kinda iron that out when
Yep.
we get some recommendations on what
Okay.
we're doing with that.
All right.
Simple enough.
Does
That's it for
any
me.
questions for her?
Pretty cut and dry.
I think I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Every
Oh,
department
we,
was like that.
speaking of Mary though, I should have brought it to you
Everybody
today, but we're gonna put a task order in front of you at the April council meeting. She's got grant money to do these shelter projects correct. Of course, we don't know what ADA compliant is and
Yeah.
we have to follow the federal grant standards, so she will, how much was that task
The
order?
task
I think it
order was 30 grand, 36, I think.
But she's got all the money in the budget, it's all grant funded, we
Okay.
just gotta get you, so she can move forward.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
I think it's Andre.
Airport.
Oh, no, where's Jason? Oh, he took Jason.
Airport's,
Our new councilman.
Jake, would you like to present?
we'll do the airport when he comes
No,
back.
thank you.
Yeah, we'll do that when, Jason's got stuff.
So we'll go to water and
Yep.
sewer fund.
So this is tag team by Andre and Edward. I think Andre usually goes first, but Edward, if y'all wanna come up, or what, how y'all wanna do it?
Okay, okay. Alright. This will be pretty cut and dry for me. Alright, you see where they're hiring an additional line worker for me. That's gonna probably be 2.
Well, we had one in the budget last year, so
Mhm.
we had done, I know we had hired you 2.
Yeah.
So that it's just in the budget, it was an increase of 1 added position.
That's right, that's right.
That is,
You seen a meter increase here, 44,000. That's gonna be to do some of the stuff for the radio read. That's gonna be just to incorporate the registers replacement. On some of this, we'll be start installing the new MXUs. Of course, you don't see that there. And that's gonna be used on some of the money that's
That's
coming from the
ARPA
East End
money.
project, ARPA money.
Correct.
Yes. So we're gonna try to do, this year, was looking to get like 1,200 MXUs. And we got a total of like 2,100 to do them all. But we're gonna start now to get those MXUs, gonna do that 11 to 1,200, do those now. So you're not seeing that reflection there. But that's what the 44 side is gonna do, some of the maintenance on the registers when we install those. Okay. Let's see, repairs and maintenance, of course, again, the 10,000, that's gonna be for that. That's gonna incorporate, either 150 registers and, or 66 meters, if they are damaged while we're doing this work. Capital request decrease,
I think that-
that's gonna be,
I'm gonna come down here where you
Yeah.
can see your stuff more. I don't think you put it on.
I didn't have a lot, 100,000, you're gonna see for water tank maintenance. That was supposed to be done in the last budget, because we had to revise and do, the contract renewal for Suez. So that's falling on this time, so we just carried it over.
Oh, so they're not gonna do the 100,000 for this fiscal year?
They are, yeah, they're gonna try.
But you have you have another cleaning that has to happen next year, right?
That's right. And
So you
that-
think we're gonna spend the 100 this year and 100 next year, right?
It's probably gonna be that much, yes.
I wasn't sure, is that carrying over or what?
Yeah, and that 100 grand is for the tank, painting at, tank number 3 at
CD meter purchase. That's again, to try to start doing some of these books that, we've got 8 books to do. So that's gonna be to finish up the remainder of those books. What else we went up on?
I think that's really the only thing you went up on.
Yeah. And I might have bumped the mains up maybe a little bit, maybe. And that's to do, replace fire hydrants on Main Street. You know, we have one that's been waiting to get replaced,
In front of the surveying.
yeah, and it was ordered, it was shipped wrong. So, and the lead time is crazy. I think it's, what's 30 weeks out on that. So that's what's going on there. So we're trying to replace, now another one on the corner too, of Church and Main. So I think that was about it on what I had.
Alright.
Easy.
Would,
Edwards, I guess, is probably gonna be mostly chemical increases.
Yep, everything, chlorine went from $5.25 last September, we're paying $1,250 a ton now, so that's more than doubled. The alum went up 36%, lime went up like 40%, and they used to give us a 6-month, hey, we'll give you a price for 6 months. Now you're lucky if you can get it for 30 days.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I budgeted in some increase. I don't know that I really budgeted in enough for the chemicals.
well, that's what I was gonna ask you, like, when you budgeted, you of course get your new pricing from your,
Yes, ma'am.
vendors, but then do you take a look at your annual usage and then any growth, like how much you?
I try to,
Yeah,
but like.
I thought you
with-
did.
With the Ukraines coming in, or possibly coming in,
Right.
I can't, you know, if I prepare for that and it doesn't happen, then I'm kind of,
Yeah.
just like what happened with this last go round. with
But you
Athens.
included what you used when the Afghans were here, right, in your
Mhm.
projections?
Yes.
So
Now-
hopefully you'd capture enough for growth.
Hopefully.
Okay.
I know that, I think y'all are working on something with the disposal fees, so that should help offset.
Yeah.
And I have that budgeted in at 45,000, and if that's gonna be zero, that could be,
Oh, yeah.
you know, helped out. The, repairs and maintenance at the water plant, we have 2 intermediate pumps. And they both have mechanical seals that have been leaking for probably a year or so now.
What are they called?
It's an intermediate pump. And I put it in the repairs and maintenance. They typically are about 30,000 to replace, but that was the last time I had one replaced. It's, you know, I don't, with parts and stuff now, I'm not sure what it would be.
And is this something Phillips not including with the grant applications, like this is?
Correct, this
Okay.
is something completely different.
Okay.
And of course, on the front, the first page, let's find it. The step increases are just for the classes,
The
the
classes
tests that the
taken.
guys take.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it.
Now, is there a way you can calculate how much, obviously if chemicals have gone up, how much does it cost for us to clean and produce 1 gallon of water, or say 3,000 gallons of water? Cause that's our base rate.
I could figure that out, but I don't have that number with me.
Figure it out, I mean, cause I'm the last one that ever wants to raise rates, but I wanna make sure that we're not hitting that threshold to where obviously we have to cover our costs. But if chemicals have doubled,
Yeah.
So I guess
Chemicals
our-
have gone crazy.
We normally get a rate study anytime we're applying for that bond, is the B and B, but our current rates do not include this influx of
Yeah.
chemical costs. So, you know, where, MacBug will give us our rate per 1,000 gallons, it doesn't have his new.
I would just like to see what it costs to treat and provide drinkable water, I guess you say potable water, for 3,000 gallons, which is the base rate.
For 3, that's fine.
Do we
Want
ex-
to-
Do we expect the chemicals to keep going up, or is it just
Uh,
in a high right now, or?
Nah, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna continue, they're claiming it's a raw material shortage. So, I mean, will it come down? You know, just like gas, I guess it could, but I don't see them coming down. I don't see them coming down to where we were at 6 months ago.
A raw material shortage?
Yep, yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea if that's like a geographical issue? Is it,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's why I wrote it down, because I wanted to look it up.
do they have I'm guessing that some of those have shelf lives?
What's that?
They have a shelf life, I'm guessing, like,
Yeah, we
Is
don't
there-
preach any of that.
no, I mean, is there any, if you,
If you were to buy now,
is there any incentive to buying now versus waiting?
Nah,
Do you,
yeah,
are you
yes,
able
our
to keep the
polymer-
storage?
Mm-mm. No, like our chlorine, we only have room for 5 cylinders, and we're buying 5 at a time. Well, we're turning over whatever we have. I think it's 3 go out, 3 come in. And like our polymers, we buy 4 barrels at a time of that. And much over that, it will start separating and it won't, so I guess the shelf life will be gone.
Okay.
So, and like lime, we buy that in bulk. That's in the lime solid. It's about 45,000 pounds every time we buy a load. So we try to buy.
so answering Jake's question, we do buy
We're,
to the
we're already,
capacity
we're
of
already
what.
doing it. Yes.
Okay.
Alright.
And that's for wastewater plant as well. The expenses, the increase is strictly chemical.
Yeah, that's why I said the chlorine has more than doubled in less than 6 months. When we just signed another form yesterday where it went up again. And the problem with that is they're kind of a sole source. Nobody on the East Coast will sell chlorine gas to us, ton cylinders. And we feed too much to do 150-pound cylinders.
It's a rare technology now because of the age. More recently constructed plants use UV, they use different technologies.
Hypochlorite, bleach.
Yeah. So what we use is antiquated, and I'm telling you, it's dangerous as hell. If one of those cancers butt, it starts evacuation. It's chlorine gas, same thing they shot at each other in World War I.
Two
You don't
breaths
want
of,
these things busted.
two full breaths of chlorine will kill you. And it's very dangerous.
But it's a 1940 era plant, so it's still got the technologies of a 1940 era plant. It's a tripling filter, as opposed to activated sludge, all these different things. It's an old technology plant, and one of the things we'd like to do, but we've had filters that we've had to accelerate on Capitol, and now this aeration system. But one of the things we'd like to do is go to the hypochlorite, change the chemical components that we get out of those canisters. They come
The ton cylinders.
12 foot tall and they're very big.
If we could get to a hypochlorite or something like that, then I can bid it out. You know, there's multiple people that would sell. That's where the ton
But we have
cylinders.
a significant capital cost to
Correct.
modify the plant.
What's the ballpark capital?
$100 grand. That's per plant.
Is that Randy Jones' number?
That's,
Are you talking?
yeah.
That's to change it all.
Mm-hmm. So what's the,
The cost benefit, I mean.
so is there any way we can bid out any way to guess how much hyperchlorite, is that right?
Hypochlorite.
Hyperchlorite we'd be using, and if there's any cost savings there, and how long it would take us to get back to 100? Is there a way to do
I
that?
could do some math on that and figure it out.
See if the cost of hypochlorite is cheaper than,
It's not. The price of hypochlorite.
It's safer.
Do we use less though? Is it less per?
No, you actually, I think you're gonna end up using more.
actually.
How
Dang,
much
we
is
lose
that?
some money on
Won't be
that. This is, never mind.
So you
Scratch that
use
idea.
more, but
I think
Maybe
the,
there's
the,
more
the
suppliers.
switch is as much or more safety
Correct.
Oh,
and
that's fair.
availability
Yes.
than it is cost. I think you gotta front 100 grand to break even, but you get rid of these crazy cylinders, these things are bad cylinders.
Well, that, and like you said, the chlorine, he can't get any pricing on it. It's
Nope.
like we got one person that has like a monopoly in our area. We've tried state contract, we've tried getting a hold of Eva, trying to find him someone else he could try to just price it from. So it's like they set the price for everybody
that's
else.
it.
Do we,
Yeah.
do we have a guess on how much more hyperchlorite is?
I don't, but I could call around and find out. Wouldn't take but a couple phone calls to have an idea on that.
Just get
I think
an
it's worth
idea.
looking at.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's it.
All right, sounds good.
And we'll go back to Jason since,
Oh, he's back?
he had to go do, an Uber service real quick.
Yeah, that wasn't in my budget either.
You didn't have to let me take the council. Save money to the tax.
The airport, I think the big increase, correct, Philip, coming from the capital stuff with the
Paving.
construction for the paving.
You know, I emailed back, we have a contract, it is signed for this airport work. I'd have to go back and find the exact date, for construction, but the construction portion of it was $492,000. What portion is gonna happen this fiscal year is what Jennifer may have to figure out in her accrual and all those kind of things, but I would say the majority of the invoicing will take place perhaps in next fiscal year.
Yeah, I mean, we're not far from next fiscal year
Yeah,
already.
I think the
so-
safe thing to do is what Jennifer's done is put a larger number, because I
What
think
is it exactly? Is it the taxiway or runway or?
it's the fueling apron.
Oh.
Charlie, right?
Out in front of the FBO.
I'll show it. It's not fully seen, and it's shaded a little bit, but it's this taxiway, and then this asphalt area.
That may or may not have been stolen from UAV Pro website.
I knew I recognized the picture.
458 is the,
It's like, I think I took that.
Disclaimer.
458 is the actual grant amount that we received. And if you remember when we accepted, our local match was 114,000. If you take the engineering, design, geotech, and the construction altogether, I think the total project was about $513,000. But that is the exact figure that we received in grant money from.
You sure they're not gonna back out of this grant?
And I did put in another 20 for professional services in anticipation of the engineering costs associated with this project. I think Jason did put that in, but Jason, you said something about wanting to add a fuel?
I added, I think I added some stuff on just general stuff for cost of inflation, stuff going up. We don't have a whole lot going on as far as maintenance this year, other than general maintenance to the truck, replacing filters and stuff on the farm, which that's gotta be done every year anyway. Biggest, other than that, we don't have anything major that needs to be done.
As far as
Other
capital
than-
projects and big numbers, remember, we gotta pay ourselves back. We don't have the $114,000 in local revenue from the fueling. So we probably got a year of selling fuel to get us paid back to this payment.
I got Jake running up and down
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
runway
thinking.
with a sign trying to sell fuel, but I don't know how it's working.
I pitched, sold some today, I believe, or got somebody coming in for some.
Would like to add a fourth fueler. We got 3. Hopefully we keep the third one if, cause it seems like every time we certify one, they quit. But we would like to add a fourth one and, I would oversee the 3 and kind of fill in as far as call rotation for fueling and stuff. But we'd like to do that. And then we'd have to get them certified this year.
When it comes to the, taking out the expense, obviously, of the paving and stuff like that, obviously, we got the cost of the fuel, the fuelers, the admin bill and stuff like that. What do we make profit-wise?
Jennifer just did the contract not long ago. She can tell you what it is per gallon, which is after expense.
80,
No, it,
into plane.
yeah, it's the into plane fee, but I have a whole, I think we came up, I think it was about $2 and,
Do we have an increase on the into plane this time?
I think it was,
I'll pull up I don't have the document, my
You're saying
contract.
$2 something is what we
No,
clear?
that's right. No, so we get, it's almost like per gallon, so because the feds set how much they're gonna pay. Even though they're down there setting the rates, those ones that come in with that military card,
They have a set rate.
right, they have a set rate the military's gonna pay, and then we get a markup. And so that's what I worked out in that government contract, and I can give you that exact
isn't it
markup.
markup like 60 cents, Jennifer? Something like that?
Something like that. I don't, that's why I was like, I don't wanna quote and it be wrong, but I can give you the complete, markup
We
rate.
haven't
Make a
bought, we
little
haven't
bit.
bought any fuel in about 3 or 4 months, and I need to order some, and I was, telling them.
I mean, we're making enough to cover our
Yeah.
expenses
Mhm.
and more, correct?
Correct.
And training is increasing.
Yeah, well, the last 2 years, all the training's been online, so it actually hasn't cost us as much, cause we don't have to go to Charlotte, North Carolina
Yeah.
for a week to pay somebody to do that. As far as training, they've been doing it here in-house, online, but I think they're gonna go back to in-person training sometime this year.
For your fuelers.
For the refuel training, yeah. Other than that, that's really all I got. Just need to sell some.
Working on it.
On a side note on the airport, Fort Pickett Fire and Rescue's putting a fire station out there.
Mhm.
They're gonna fully staff it. So, I know they're trying to meet a regulation for response time, but I also
See some stuff down the
I would
line.
think something
That's our hope, that's our hope.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it makes sense.
for them to put 16 new employees on.
It's a pretty quiet airport right now, yeah.
Well, Afghan screwed that up in a sense, 'cause can't come in, you can't bring anybody in to train, cause there's nowhere for them to stay, because it was filled up at the time, but we may give you trainings now, but I don't know. We need the Marines to come back.
All right, well,
The
that,
procurement policy, I brought this to you guys last time, but the department heads weren't here. This is kind of just what we're playing with. We pulled the Dinwiddie procurement policy and mirrored it, pretty much. And it's just really because of the time it's taking for us to get these bids. It's too time consuming, and we'd like to up that minimum. They call it a micro purchase, anything under 5,000, because my department heads are who's getting the quotes. You know, they don't all have secretaries working at their office, you know, they have to call around and get their pricing, and it's just the amount of time they're spending on it from what we're saving, a couple $100 for everything over $500, we're getting 3 prices on, so I think staff is getting a little exhausted by it.
Seems like a reasonable thing to try.
We were trying to see
You can
what
always-
other
if it doesn't
localities
work,
are doing.
go
If you
back.
guys are okay with that, then I'd
Yeah.
like to move forward with that through the budget cycle. Like, I don't, of course, wouldn't implement a new
Yeah.
procurement
Really,
policy.
the two, statutory numbers to keep in mind is the 30,000, and that requires some additional sealed bidding and those kinds of things. And then the town's charter does require you guys to purchase over or to approve $10,000 purchases, and that can't be changed, so anything over 10,000 will still come to you guys.
But the thing is, so if they approve it and appropriate it through the budget, and that purchase, and so the department head submits something for, say, it's $10,500, do they still have to bring it back in front of the council if they approved it in the budget?
I think $10,000, if you read it, the charter says all purchases of 10,000 or more will.
yeah, but I see what
Come
she's
to
saying,
council.
if we
Already
have a
approved?
capital improvement of replacing,
Well,
just say if it was the roof at the fire
I don't
department
think
and it
you
was only
necessarily have
10,000.
to approve it ahead of time, you can do it on the bills having been paid.
Okay.
I think you can do it that
But
way.
we
do it
don't
all
need
the time.
prior approval
Mhm.
for $10,000.
As long as it was included in the budget
Correct,
that was approved by us.
correct. But other than that, you guys are okay with it? The tiers? Staff, are y'all, does that seem like it's gonna help, Dion?
Think we tried?
The process in place right now is an absolute nightmare.
Well, and remember why this was done. Philip and I, we had this conversation last time. When I first got on council, we were unplugging light bulbs, unscrewing light bulbs. I mean, this was done because we wanted to see what we could truly save.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it's time to do it.
It worked,
Yeah,
but now
it's
it's,
time to do it.
it's hindered.
Now we're probably losing money.
Yeah.
Oh, we are,
I mean, we couldn't pay you guys.
right.
I mean, it was a struggle. So,
The 500 is a very low threshold, for sure, and it does cause.
and
It
that
costs
could
us a
have
lot of
probably
delays,
been
it
adjusted
costs-
4 or 5 years ago, but, I mean, it takes time.
You're spending a lot of hourly time for these guys to go out and buy 12 light bulbs and have to go through
Yeah.
it.
I think that was it. Unless y'all have
All right,
anything?
nothing else?
Nope.
We'll adjourn the meeting at 5:45.